Okay, so yes, this video is being recorded after game one of the finals. Yes, this video is going to have a little bit of me talking about the game. No, this is not a full recap. If you read the title, you should know that. What am I talking about this video? So this is another video in my series of rants where I just absolutely show where my allegiances lie with the media as a whole and the fact that I clearly am not on a certain and particular side. Why am I on this side? What is the side I'm referring to? Even, right? And just lighting it here real quick. A little bit better. There we go. Yeah, why? What am I talking about? Well, for starters, Tyrese Halliburton. Jesus Christ, boy. Every time I see you, I am more and more amazed and astonished with you. Yes, Tyrese Halliburton only had 14 points. I feel like that's being taken out of context and no one's talking about it. A lot of people are giving Richard Jefferson shit about him, like saying, "Oh, he's doing tour dates." Now, when I was sitting around and heard that call, I was like, tour dates? If you were talking about his field goal percentage, I could hear you saying tour dates. That's what tour dates normally refers to. But his numbers, he's a facilitator. He's going to have less points than most players. And a lot of people like Kendrick Perkins have been giving him shit for like not being this dominant one scorer. And I'm just like, that's not who he is. That's not what the system requires of him. He is not a heliocentric player in this offense. He can be, he could be, but that's not the most effective thing. And it's clearly not been the most effective thing. And that's why they're in the finals right now. And every time that is a heliocentric player is no longer in the playoffs. The last time we saw a heliocentric team even get this far was last year with Luka Doncic when he led the playoffs in every single statistical category. Do you know what happened when he finally got to the finals? He was playing through an injury. He was hampered, tired. I think Halliburton has taken a reduced role than he did even last year's playoffs, to be quite honest, in certain games. So yeah, Tyrese Halliburton is amazing. First, Shea, I just want to say something to Shea, because people are never going to tell you. People would never tell you this. You would never know this. Shea had 38 points and was the only fucking reason that offense looked good last night, for any amount of stretch and period. Shea had 38 points last night. Now, on what splits, I couldn't tell you. I could not tell you. I knew it wasn't the world's greatest, and I knew he didn't get to the free throw line. But here's something real quick. One, mainstream media. You guys think you're so fucking cool talking about the free throws now. Yo, Twitter kids have been talking about that shit for like months now. And Twitter people, shut the fuck up. His free throw, the amount of free throws he takes is not that bad. He only took 4 to 6 free throws last night. I think he might have taken 7 at most, and he had 38 points. So if you want to subtract 7 points for this motherfucker to still be averaging what? 30 fucking points in the finals? 30 plus points in the finals? Yeah, shut up. I don't care. More importantly, Jalen Williams should be getting the biggest fucking shit on moment, right? Jalen, he was terrible. He was terrible for multiple stints of the game. It was really bad. I don't know why no one's talking about it. It was really bad. He shot 6 for 19. 619. I thought he was doing Rey Mysterio out there, brother. It was not good. Chet was ineffective in parts of this game. Just completely ineffective. His defense was fine, but to be honest, they looked better when they were playing small. I have no idea why Dagnall didn't make the adjustment to just play small the entire time. Turner, if you're playing small, you're likely going to have Turner in more foul trouble because you can drive at him more often. I think that was very important. And they need to make an adjustment on conceding corner threes. I know their defense is very much so built on conceding something. Every defense is built on conceding something. And like, if it's built on conceding corner threes, what the Pacers shoot the highest percent from, they're probably going to lose the series. But that is matchups, right? If the Pacers hit their shots, because the Pacers, I'm going to be honest, come here with me real quick. Obi Toppin started this game fucking terrible. This Pacers team started the game terrible. They were down 20 for a good reason. Yes, they are the Black Magic Pacers still. Yes, they are the only team in finals history to come back from being down 9 or more points. 9 or more points in the final 3 minutes. Yes, they are the Black Magic Pacers for a reason. Halliburton has hit a game-winning or game-tying shot in every single series. All of them throughout this playoff run. when I called them dark horses, this is what I would expect it would take for them to be up a game in the finals. For them to even be in the finals. It's so good. So, you might be wondering, with all of that being said, why aren't you talking about the main topic of this video? Well, that's because I think about these videos before I don't think about these videos before I press record. I like the energy of the video and I post it. That's it. If I'm feeling like talking about basketball, I'll talk about basketball. If I'm not feeling like talking about basketball, guess what? I won't do that. By the way, ain't nobody dope as me. I'm just so fresh and clean. I just got out of the shower. I just said, cleanest nigga in the house. There's no one else here but me. More importantly, I would like to also congratulate my brother who's graduating today. This video is probably won't go up the day he graduates, but I would like to congratulate him because, I mean, yeah, like, why wouldn't I congratulate him? I'm very proud of him. I don't say it often, and I'm hoping he discovers this video, you know, eventually, because I'm gonna say it to his face, but I hope he would have something like this to at least remember me by, at least, you know, in case something ever happens to me. But regardless, yeah, we're like almost 7 minutes into the video now. Yeah, so come here. Give me real quick. Mainstream media tried to tell me that this finals was going to be boring. The number one defense by net, if you just look at the regular season, right? If you look at the regular season, the number one defense historically, just by net rating, which is the best way to calculate defense is because it is adjusted for each era, right? Net rating is basically how good is your defense versus the modern or the era that you were currently in. These motherfuckers are that good. Like, that's how good the Oklahoma City Thunder is. They are better than the 79 the Warriors that won 70 games. They're better than the Bulls that won 70 games. Just based on net rating, right? They were blowing teams out that bad. And if you want to say that the league is not as talented as it was because, you know, blah, blah, you're an idiot. So, shut up. I'm not going to argue with you. More importantly, jeez. Dude, let's go and look over, right? Let's really think about this. And I'm going to be listing names, and you're not going to have the video and access to people who told you this series would be boring. But just know that I'm talking about a lot of FS1 motherfuckers that said this series was going to be boring. A lot of basketball purists told me this series was going to be boring. Now, I thought the Thunder would eventually take this series, similar to how Miami took the series against the Thunder, ironically enough, in 2012, in that lockout shortened season. Jesus Christ. For LeBron's first championship. There was a hair. Just ignore that. Really bad. Anyway. Right, where it would be a competitive series, but it would ultimately wind up with the Pacers losing in 5. That was my prediction going into the series. I still stand by it. After seeing Game 1, the Thunder I don't think the Thunder have lost back-to-back games in this entire playoff run, and there's a reason for that. They're a really good team. I think they'll make the adjustments. Here's some things I want to talk about really quickly. 1, Halliburton did not play well. 2, their offense OKC's offense stalling when they're not generating turnovers is not something new. We've seen this before. I figured that this would happen in a playoff setting, right? I feel like a lot of people who are very smart and covered the sport could have told you that, right? And the reason that happens is, right, so like this team is obviously very great in transition. They are very great into getting into transition situations. It's why they were in this game in the begin with. They made the Indiana Pacers turn the ball over 24 times. With all of that being said, they lost because their offense stalled in the half court. With your offense stalling in the half court, right? So in the half court, I just want to keep this in mind. Full court offenses is transition. From one basket to the other basket, right? Let me keep my arms in frame so you can see them. This is about half court, right? This is half court offense. You can't go back over the half court line. That's why they call it half court offense, all right? I thought I'd break that term down really quickly because there's somebody will eventually find these videos and they might be a basketball casual, right? Yeah, so with that, their half-court offense stalls. And the reason this happens is because they only have really one on-ball creator, and Jalen Williams is not at that level yet where he really can even create for himself to the same degree. He's a great play finisher, in my opinion. He's really good when the defense is already scrambled, but if he has to create his own shots, it's kind of rough at sometimes. He's not nearly as polished as you would think, as people want him to be. And I just want to point this out. He is in year 3 of being a good player, right? Right? This is not like he was drafted in the same draft as Evan Mobley and those guys, right? I just want to point that out. Like, he is not been in the league for that long, guys. So yeah, he's going to get better. So if you're worried about for the fucking media that's been complaining about, oh, there's no dynasties, we miss dynasties, even though you bitched and moaned about dynasties so much. Well, it's fans bitched and moaned about them, and now the casual fans are also doing that as well. You bitched and moaned about it every single fucking year. Like, why would I even watch regular season? And now the regular season matters. You're mad. You're mad that you have to keep up with 82 games. You're mad that you have to cover 82 games. You're mad you have to pretend to even care about the other 30 teams of the NBA. That's why they don't like that's why they don't like not having dynasty. That's why media doesn't like not having dynasties. And they always talk about the ratings. The ratings are down because you cover the sport fucking negatively. The ratings are down because you don't talk about the sport in a correct manner. The ratings are down because you only know how to cover 3 to 4 teams at once. And the ratings are down because you guys make the world's stupidest fucking narratives instead of talking about anyone else. The ratings are down because you guys don't acknowledge any talent that isn't from anywhere that isn't from America. The ratings are down because you have the same fucking guys who've been talking about this sport for 30 fucking years at minimum, who got really famous in the 2010s for their sports broadcasting. Shaq, Stephen A. Smith, Kenny, Chuck, Ernie. I love Ernie. Fuck the rest of the guys on the TNT crew. I mean that specifically. I'm so tired of them. I'm so tired of the way they cover the sport. This is really more of a rant about how people have covered the sport than it is going to be about breaking down the basketball analysis of the OKC series right now, and the Pacers series as well. I just like to point that out. Halliburton was amazing. Halliburton is great. I love Hallie. And before everyone goes to look at the box score and be like, well, the leading scorer on this team only had 19 points. Everyone in the fucking team put up double digits. Everyone who played significant minutes was putting up double digits. At one point, TJ McConnell was their leading scorer. Pascal Siakam had a moment as their leading scorer. It felt like Obi Toppin was going to be their leading scorer. He had 2 points less than fucking Siakam. And he started the game off rough. So anyone who's going to bullshit you, be like, well, the Pacers aren't going to replicate this. Dude, this is something they've been doing. All right, this is something they've been doing the entire playoff run. They don't make it to the fucking finals by being a bad team. I hate to tell it to you. They were the #1 playoff offense for a fucking reason. Please acknowledge them. Holy shit. Just because they didn't win 68 games and you were forced to cover them, because I know that's how you feel about OKC, we had to beg you motherfuckers to get them nationally televised games, even though we knew they were going to be good last year because they won 51 fucking games last year. We knew they were going to be good this year. We were like, they're the favorite to win the West. I had them as a favorite to win the championship before the fucking ball had even touched the court last year. Because I looked at everything that was happening and I was like, do I think Luke is going to have that level of a run again? Probably not. Do I think Jokic's team and supporting cast has gotten better? Probably not. Do I see internal improvement from a second-year Chet? Yeah, probably. And one from, what? Jalen Williams as well? Yeah, probably. I think he'll get better. Because I'm not fucking stupid. We knew they were going to be good. But no one could have seen how good Indiana was going to be. Indiana being a surprise should have been the easiest cover for this. Because you're going to be like... Also, by the way, Indiana's exhilarating to watch. Motherfucker, they were down 20 points. And normally, a casual could easily get away with just turning the fucking TV off. I thought about getting up. Halftime struck. I was like, well, it's 24 turnovers and they're probably not going to make it this thing. But I want to see what the adjustments they make in the second half quarter, I want to see the adjustments they make. Are they going to run the same thing? Right? Are they going to I was like, probably not. They're probably going to run a little bit something different because it's game 1, right? You don't want them to know all of your tricks in game 1. And if you're clearly losing a game, I would, in my opinion, if I was a coach, and I do eventually want to be a coach of basketball on any level, if I was a coach, I would be looking over and be like, I don't want to show them fucking everything. In a 7-game series, I don't want to show them everything. Now, if it's an AAU tournament setting, oh yeah, give them everything you got. The game ain't over until the fucking clock strikes 0. And my dad was talking about the clock striking 0, the Cinderella run is over. I'm like, I don't know. They did it to us. And we're a better offense than OKC. I hate to break it to you. We're a much better offense than OKC. They did it to Giannis. Giannis and them were having a dominant game. They were up so many points that I've never seen something like that before. It might have happened in my lifetime, but I've never seen it happen. I was like, I don't know. This is a pretty hard lead to choke, right? They got the game so close it went to fucking overtime, and then Halliburton got a game-winning, series-winning shot. Right? I was like, he did it against us. He had a game-timing shot against the New York Knicks that got them in overtime, and they stole a game on the road. Like, I don't know. I'm not gonna count him out, right? I was like, the ball's going to fucking Halliburton. No one has to worry about it, right? And people are like, Carlo should call a timeout. Carlo should call a timeout. I don't think you understand this really quickly. Come here. If you call a timeout, you let OKC's defense get set up. For the motherfuckers who are like, call a timeout. That logic doesn't work against OKC. You don't want their defense to be set. And Halliburton knows this, which is why he didn't call a timeout. In situations like this, your player on the court tells you to call the timeout. You call the timeout as the player. The coaches shouldn't call the timeout at that point. All right? That's for one. Tyrese Halliburton is such an amazing game manager to get that shot. So, their defense, because their defense is not set, and he switches so well, and he's also driving into the space of Aaron Nesmith. Normally, this is a cardinal sin, but that's in a half-court set defense setting, where the defense knows who their guy is. They were not matched up. That's why he got that shot over Jalen Williams. And by the way, the shot was incredible. 0.3 seconds remaining. I just want you to come here real quick. The Thunder had led this game for 46 minutes and 20 plus seconds. 46 minutes and 20 plus seconds. The fucking Pacers led for 0.3 seconds. 0.3 seconds. Now, I'm not a mathematician. I'm not the world's greatest math. I'm not the world's greatest guy at math. But if you divide the game, which is a 48-minute game, by the amount of time they led the game, right? They led it for less than 1/100th of the game. At least I think that number is correct off the top of my head. They led it for that much. So let me just convert it real quick. 48 minutes, we're gonna multiply that by 60. 8 times 6. Sorry. 40. Let me just do 48 times 6. 8 times 6, that gives me... I'm doing the math in my head. If you're wondering why I'm not doing it out loud, that right there is 48 in itself. Yeah, that's 48 in itself. And then 4 times 6 is 204. 240 plus 48, 200, negative is 280. Sorry, that's 288 seconds. Not seconds. Sorry, my bad. 2,088 seconds. 2,880 seconds. They led for 0.3. So they led for less than a thousandth of the game. Sorry for doing that math out loud in your face and in your head, but like, yeah, that's what I had to do. Anyway, think about that. That's insane. That is crazy. Have you ever seen that before? Probably not. It's insane. It really is insane to me. They were like, first of all, the thing I want to say to my dad, the clock has not started 12 lit, and the Cinderella run is not over. And more importantly than all of that, OKC, you got to make some adjustments. And more importantly than any of that, don't let someone who's online or on TV or on anywhere tell you how to enjoy something. Fuck those people. Seriously. Don't let those people tell you how to do this, because they're miserable and they will suck the joy out of anything. Anything that you like. Don't let them take your joy. Never let them steal your kindness. Never let them steal your heart, your compassion. There's a lot of evil and terrible shit going on in this world. And if you can find enjoyment in something pure like this, please find enjoyment in it, because it's not gonna always be there. It isn't. I love you guys. Like, comment, subscribe, YouTube shilling stuff. And with all that being said, goodbye.